All right, what's up, guys? Back with the figure. We finally have Toji Fushiguro from S.H.Figuarts. Been waiting for this figure for a while. Not even from it just being announced, just from it in general. Like, I think Toji's probably the most sought after character from the Jujutsu Kaisen line that people wanted, and for a really long time at that. So it's really cool to finally have him here now. As you can see with the packaging, it's really nice. Standard Figuarts kind of stuff here. The color is just kind of light blue, like a light dark blue. I don't even know how to describe it properly, but yeah. Super clean packaging. So let's get him out and let's just see what the clamshell looks like with all the accessories. All right, so here we are with the clamshell. We have the figure itself, the little Gojo head there. We have four-ish sets of hands. One's kind of like a hand that's together for a certain specific kind of pose. We have Soul Splitter. We have Inverted Spirit of Heaven. We have the alternative face blades, two other ones. Different hair effect piece with the other face, kind of like an inaction kind of grinning face, and then just standard hair and standard face that comes on the figure. All right, let's finally get him outside the plastic and see what he looks like. All right, here we are. Jeez. Feels so weird actually kind of seeing him in person, because like we've been looking at customs for so long for Toji. Like I think Toji's probably the figure or the character that's been made into a custom figure the absolute most. Let's just check him out real quick. Yeah, so just from the eye test, he looks really, really cool. Jeez. The details. I really like how they did the details on the shirt. Like it's all all the ripples are kind of sculpted on there. It looks really, really cool. Overall, the sculpt and details look really, really nice. Getting into the pants and the feet. Pants, I'm kind of okay on. I think I would have preferred if they used the same sculpt that I think the Toto figure had. I think I prefer those pants more. Just overall, the way they engineered and everything like that. Not a big fan of this. It is pretty ugly to look and to see from the back. But overall, I think the articulation is pretty good for this sculpt considering. But goodness gracious, man. The face is just really nice. All right, now that we looked at the figure, let's take a look at the accessories and some of the other stuff he comes with. Okay, so first things first, let's take a look at the alternate Gojo head and face. Overall, it looks really, really nice. Next, we have the Soul Split Katana or Soul Splitter. Also looks pretty good. I think it maybe could use a little more shading on the handle, but small nitpick. Looks really accurate and really nice. Here is that alternate hairpiece and face for Toji. It's a whole hair thing as well. So it's not even just like the front. The whole hairpiece changes out, which is really cool. His other face, it's like a menacing grin. Toji just kind of, yapping. Here we have the worm, which I was really interested in. So it is articulated and there's a lot of ball joints on it. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be, but overall, just off the eye test for right now, looks pretty cool. I think, again, this could just use a little bit more shading, but the solid color itself is fine. We have the hands for that one stretching pose that he does. The neck connector for the worm. We have two open kind of clasping or grasping hands, two holding hands, two relaxed hands, Inverted Spirit Heaven. So I'm going to go ahead and try to put the worm on Toji, and then I'm going to see how his articulation is as well. All right, so here's that worm on Toji. Obviously, it looks really nice. All right, let me give him one of his tools first before I get into the articulation real quick. Now, I'm not going to lie. I fully expected them to kind of reuse a lot of the parts from the Toto figure. But to my surprise, I think there is a lot of him that is new in original sculpting. I think at least 90, like at least 80% is all new in original sculpting for this figure. I don't think there's any reused parts. like that, or it might be reused technology, like some of the joint setups. But overall, for his entire sculpt, I think it's mostly brand new. But anyway, so it's him with the blade and the worm on him. All right, so let's take a look at his ab crunch. Or actually, let's start off with the head. Yeah, so side to side with the worm on. Not too much movement. Probably a lot more with the worm off. His head goes down about that much. Head goes up about that much. His arms go, obviously, all the way across. This is perfect right here, especially for a Toji figure. Now let's see his decent rotation at the top. Very good rotation at the bottom. Ab crunch in is somewhat decent. I'd say slightly above average. Then his leg. See this for the knee. I'll say it's pretty decent considering the pants sculpt. Goes back a decent amount. Goes forward. He's kicking all the way up like that. He's kicking to the side. Might be able to do a Yujiro pose. Let's see. Something like that. I think just overall, I think his overall posability is going to be pretty good. Perhaps even great. Let's see. Something like that. Anyway, yeah, so overall, I give his articulation like a minimum 6.5 out of 10. It's at the very least passable. Definitely handled other figures with way less and way worse articulation, like the Okarun from Don Online. Jesus, that shit sucked. But this, in comparison, like, everything just feels pretty good. But anyway, so now let's get on to the figure comparisons. All right, now for my first comparison, I'm doing my Hikari custom, but the one with the purple hair. I think this, actually not sure. This might be in scale. I don't know. The heights in JJK are kind of complicated. Here is my Toji custom. I thought it pretty cool to get that side by side with them. Yeah, it's crazy. Also, yeah, his hair did break right there, so it looks like he has a weird bang thing kind of going on. This is my Shinjuku Gojo, my Aoi Todo, and my Maki Zen custom right here. So we got the heavily restricted duo, some heavy hitters, Todo, my other Toji custom, and then my Gojo custom. So I actually do want to do a close-up on Toji and Todo because, like I was saying earlier, I did expect a lot of reuse for these figures. But surprisingly, I feel like I can say that at the very least, I think it was probably made by the same sculptor. Like the way they sculpt the kind of forearms is very specific and unique to like the SHF line, especially with Todo. So I think it was definitely probably the same sculptor. He's a little bit shiny though, I'm noticing compared to the Todo. Like Todo looks very much more matte. Doesn't shine as much. Toji's is very shiny. Yeah, so let's see. Pants wise, completely different. They did a completely different knee setup. I would have, like I said, I would have much preferred these ones. And I used to think these were kind of ugly, but in comparison, these are way more appealing. Anyway. Yeah, I think either my fucking Hikari custom is just fucking gigantic, or I don't know, Toji might be out of scale. I did notice this Toji was kind of short in the figure comparisons when he was put next to Team Gojo. and who was it? I think Team Gojo and Team Ghetto. Let's see. Make it Gojo without the jacket on. I think it's actually the first time I'm showing my Shinjuku Gojo. So there we go. Super cool stuff, man. This SHF Toji is so insane. It's actually getting me kind of hyped to get like official figures for like Maki or even Hikari if this is the type of quality that we can expect going forward with figures in the SHF line for the JJK line. It's a lot of hope, man. A lot of hope. I do want to see what that alternate head sculpt looks like, though. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, never mind. It's a whole thing to switch out the heads, and I don't really have time for that. I have other figures I need to unbox. So anyway, this is Toji, man. I really recommend if you can find him, get him. This figure is going to be sought after. It's going to be rare. Get him now while you can. Peace out.